Hello there and welcome back to the Grace and Bacon YouTube channel. My name is Jessica and in today's video we're going to be making the clear version of the cutest little petite bag I think I've ever seen. It is called the Moon River. It's by K.Dill Handmade. It is so cute. It's got cute little accents on the bottom, on the side, and then I added these zipper overlays on the top. That's something you don't have to do if you don't want to. It's totally up to you. And I added a fun little tag right here. And I just want to say thank you so much to Kathy from K.Dill Handmade for allowing me to use your pattern on my channel. This is a fun one, guys, so go ahead and grab your pattern. The link is down below. And then also cut up your materials and let's get into this. Okay, let's go over our pattern pieces. All right, so I've got this large piece, which is my main body piece. Now, if you were using directional fabric, you would want to make sure that you cut 2 pieces of fabric. This is made with 2 pieces of fabric because this vinyl is a directional print. So I had to cut 2 of those. So make sure you pay attention to the direction of your material before you cut them. So this one, like I said, was 2 pieces, and what you'll need to do is, I'll go ahead and let you know what you'll do since I have 1 pattern piece here. You will take the 2 pieces and connect them together. They'll be right sides together. Okay, and then you're going to stitch the bottom together at a 1/4 inch seam allowance. And then when you've done that, what you'll do is you'll open the seam allowance and you're going to sew on the seam allowance on both sides of that seam allowance at 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. And then after that, you'll go ahead and apply that bottom piece. Okay, I will not be doing that though, because like I said, this is all just 1 piece. So we've got the 1 piece here, and then we've got our bottom accent, which is the base. Okay, and then we've got 2 pieces. Sorry, you'll need just one piece for the base. And then I'm going to be using D-ring tabs, so you'll need 2 pieces for that. And then there are side D-ring, I think it's called, okay, sorry, there's side zipper tabs. You'll need 2 pieces for that. And then if you'd like to do zipper overlays, again, this is not something you have to do. It's an optional piece. I did go ahead and get 2 of those cut out. And this is cut to the length of your main body piece where you would attach the zipper, okay? And I did that length by 1/2 inch wide. You could do it wider if you want. You can do it smaller if you want, but I do think that 1/2 inch is looks pretty good. That is what I did here. It's 1/2 inch wide. And then I will be putting a little sew-in tag here. It says enjoy the little things. And then I've got my zipper. I already lined it with the tape, the double-sided tape, so we can attach that there onto the main body. And then I also have lined my zipper overlays right down the center with double-sided tape as well. I did the same thing with the pattern pieces for the D-ring tab. I went ahead and made my center mark down the long edges, not the long edges, but down the center of the long side, not the short. So you'll make the center mark right down the center of the long side. And then I think, what are we missing? You'll need 2 D-rings, or if you want to use rectangle rings, or if you're going to use, like I'm going to be using the triangle rings. I really like those. And then I've got my zipper, which we won't install until later. If you're not comfortable with that, it might be okay if you extended your zipper like really, really long. I'm not really sure how long, but if you're comfortable with it, I do think that the best way to install this is to have your zippers pulled apart. You can always practice taking it apart and putting the zipper on and running it through and continue doing that until you get the hang of it. It does get easier the more that you do it. You will need a lighter because when you're doing anything with clear vinyl or jelly vinyl, you've got to make sure that you singe those threads because there is a lot of raw edges here. So always have a lighter for a clear vinyl project. And then of course you're going to need a ruler and some marking tools for this. I will be using an air erasing marker because it will disappear on its own. And I think that will be it. I've got a ton of clips that you're going to need, and I think that might be it. You can grab something to bind this if you'd like to, but because it's clear, I'm not worried about that part. So I think that's everything. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay, the first thing I did was I marked my centers from the top, or from both top edges. Okay, and then I went ahead and added my bag tag. If you have a bag tag, you can place it wherever you'd like. So I'm going to set this body, I'm going to set this, the main body to the side for now. Okay, I'm going to work on the D-ring tabs, and I've already placed my center line and also double-sided tape. So I'm going to go ahead and remove the paper. And I'm going to take the long raw edges to meet the line. I'm surprised it's still there. I used an air erasing mark a couple hours ago and it's still there. So hey, that works. So yeah, I'm just bringing those raw edges to meet that center line that we drew. Go ahead and do that for both. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to stitch along each long side edge at 1/8 of an inch seam allowance on both sides. Okay, so now we've got our D-ring tabs stitched at 1/8 of an inch seam allowance on both long edges here. You want to go ahead and grab your triangle rings or your D-rings, rectangle rings, whatever you're using, and you want to thread this through. You want the bar at the bottom to be against your raw edge that's folded in, okay? All right, and then fold that together. Make sure the raw ends meet at the end. Clip it together, and then do the same thing with the other one. You could baste that down if you'd like, but I'm just going to go ahead and set this to the side and save it for later. Okay, so now I'm going to grab my body, and I am going to grab my pattern piece D, which is the base. And I marked the centers already down at the bottom. That's really important because you need to have the center marked on your main body piece to line this up correctly. So go ahead and mark the centers of your base. I'm going to use an air erasing marker. I don't want to clip into this because this will be seen in the end. Well, I guess it probably, no, just kidding. It won't be seen in the end. So if you want to clip into it, you can. But I'm going to just use this marking tool. All right. You could use double-sided tape if you'd like. I'm just going to use clips. I'm going to find that center mark on the body right here, and I'm going to line up my centers. And I'm going to clip this down. It'll look like this. So you want to stitch along each long edge at 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. Okay, you don't have to stitch here if you don't want to. I'm not going to because we're going to close that up whenever we put it together, but just down each long edge here. All right, so it should look like this. That looks pretty. This vinyl is a translucent vinyl. It is from mormino.com. And then this clear vinyl is from Zipper Valley. I'll have the links listed down below. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to grab are my zipper pieces here. And then if you're using the zipper overlays, go ahead and grab those. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the paper off of one edge of my zipper. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to place this right on top and meet the centers. So you want to make sure that you have your centers marked on your zipper. I will use a marking tool for this. Do the other one. I don't particularly like to snip into my zipper just because I'm afraid it might fray. So I just prefer to make a mark. Okay, so I'm going to remove the paper. I'm going to lay this down and find the center on the top. Okay. All right. There we go, and line it up. All right, just like this. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and do the other side, just because I don't want that air erasing marker to disappear before I get to it. So I'm going to do the same thing and find the center marks. All right, and try to get it as straight as you can, and you can baste that down if you'd like, or if you prefer, you can go ahead and remove the paper off the back of your overlay and just place it right on top, and then sew down both long edges at 1/8 of an inch seam allowance, but I am going to go ahead and baste down my zippers real quick. If you have some sticky gunk on your needle, I have some right now, you would take an alcohol wipe. I get them from Amazon. You get a pack of like 100, I think, for a few bucks. And I'm going to take some Sewer's Aid, and you could also use machine oil if you'd want to. I'm just going to put a couple drops, just a little tiny bit, on this alcohol wipe. And I'm going to just kind of gently rub the needle here to clean it. That way we can get rid of that stickiness. All right, so we have sewn the zipper at the top on both sides. Now it's time to go ahead and grab the overlays if you'll be using them. I'm going to remove the paper. And what you want to do is just lay it just on top of that top raw edge from your, what is it called? The bag exterior. Just enough that it's covering the raw edge, and try to get it as straight as you can. If it's a little off, no one's going to notice, so it's not a big deal. And if they're a little bit longer than the body itself, that's okay. We can always trim it down. So I've got that one down, and I'll go ahead and pull the paper off the next one and do the same thing. All right, when you are happy with that, you'll go ahead and stitch, top stitch on the long edges at 1/8 of an inch away from both sides on both sides, okay? I once again completely forgot to use my woven label, of course. Maybe I can try to put it in somewhere, but not sure. All right, so I've got the zipper overlays attached on both of my zippers here. Now I'm gonna go ahead and attach the zipper pull. I am not good with attaching a zipper pull looking at it wrong side up. I need to look at it right side up, so I will go ahead and install my zipper real quick. You can use 2 zipper pulls if you'd like. I'm just going to use the 1 zipper pull. Okay, so this is what you should have right now, okay? Make sure you singe the edges of your zipper tape if you're using nylon. That way it will help prevent it from shredding. So what we're going to do now is we're going to turn this so that it's wrong sides out. If your vinyl is too stiff, like TPU is usually very pliable, you could, but the other one, what is it called? I forget what the other one is, but the other one, it can be very stiff, so you can grab a hairdryer if you'd like. So we went ahead and flipped that over wrong side out, no problem. So now you're going to go ahead and grab your D-ring tabs. And what we're going to do is you're going to place it right in the center of the zipper, okay? So right in the zipper, and you want to have this facing down. So your D-ring tab or your rectangle, whatever hardware you're using, needs to be facing on the inside of the exterior, just like this, okay? And then go ahead and make sure it's centered and clip that together. All right, I like that. Go ahead and clip it, and then we're going to go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. So flip this around. All right, once again, we're going to go face. Hardware is facing down, okay? And line it up with the center of your zipper. That looks pretty good. And clip it together, and what we're going to do is we're going to base this down, okay? Both sides, base that down. All right, we've got our zipper tabs basted in place on both sides. All right, now we're going to go ahead and grab our, I think it's the zipper tab, yes, the side zipper tab pieces. There's 2 of those. Okay, so I went ahead and made a mark on my side zipper tabs, and I'm going to line that up right in the center, and your pieces should match up pretty perfectly. So this should be right sides together, and if it's a smidgen off, it's okay, it won't be that big of a deal. You can always trim that off. Mine is just a smidgen off. All right, I'm just clipping that together. So it looks like this. I'll go ahead and do the other side. I've already got that mark here in the center, so I'm just matching up the centers here, lining up the top. And I'm going to clip it together. This one is just a smidgen off as well. That's okay. I'll just trim that little tiny bit, or it might be fine. It's not that much. It's just a hair probably. It's not that bad. So what we're going to do now is we're going to stitch this in place at a 1/4 inch seam allowance on both sides. If you have a hump jumper, this might be good to have for those side tabs because it is a little bulky. Okay, so we've got these sewn on the sides. Make sure that when you are sewing through clear vinyl, jelly vinyl, that you are using a longer stitch length, because if you're using a smaller stitch length, it could perforate your vinyl and you don't want to do that. And make sure you're singeing all those threads because you don't want any of that to be poking out. And I went ahead and trimmed down my zipper so that it is level with my material here. And then I singed that as well. So now what we're going to do is you're going to flip those side tabs up. Whoops. We're going to flip them up so it looks like this. And then you're going to top stitch at an 1/8 of an inch seam allowance, and you might want to have that hump jumper. I know I needed it. So again, from this side, you're going to flip this up, and everything should be right sides together now. So you're going to top stitch along this line here at an 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. Okay. All right, so this is what it should look like right now. We have top stitched that. Looks pretty good, so we should have it looking like this. Looks kind of funny. Go ahead and mark the center pieces, the center of your pieces here, because now we're going to take this tab and line it up with that center mark that we made previously. And we're going to clip together that edge. We're almost done. It's so quick. This is a really quick, fun make. If you're having any problems with your vinyl sticking to the machine bed, you could use some like a gift wrap paper, gift wrap tissue paper, and that will help you. Or you could, if it's sticking to your foot, you could take tape and you could put it on the bottom of your foot and just make a hole for the needle, and that should help. So I'm lining up my center marks here right along that top edge so it looks like this. Okay, so this should be that tab lining up with the center of the bottom of the bag where the base is, and clip it together. And we're going to sew that down on both of your sides at a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Okay? Okay, so I made a boo-boo, and I did this every time that I've made one of these, and I've made like 4 of these. But before you stitch these down, make sure that you measure a 1/4 inch away from each side, okay? So don't do what I did. Measure a 1/4 inch away from each side, and what you want to do is you want to stitch from that line to the next line, okay? And leave this little opening here, okay? Okay, so now that I've fixed my error here, I've got a 1/4 inch from each of those sides on both of them. Now is where you're going to need a ton of clips. So this is where I'm going to start. I like to start right here on the edge where, not the edge where we've sewn it together. I'm going to start here and just smush this together right here. Okay, and I'm going to start clipping the edge right there. So right there where we've got the corner, okay, I'm just going to pinch that together and line up that top edge here. Okay, and I'm also going to place a clip right here, kind of like you would a boxed corner. Okay, so I'm going to line this up right at the edges here. Okay, clip. And then here at the edge, this is where that 1/4 inch is going to help you, because you can pull this up, okay? I don't know if you can see that, but you have this little flap here, okay? And you're going to push it up, okay, to meet the edge of your clear vinyl. And then you're going to pinch all that together. So it's like a straight edge, okay? And you're going to sew that down at a 1/4 inch seam allowance, but you're gonna do this for all 4 of your sides. So I'm turning it over, and you've got a 1/4 inch here where that flap is, but I'm starting right here where that boxed corner is, okay, right here, and I'm going to line up those edges and pinch it together and clip, okay, and then I'm going to clip down the side so it's kind of like a boxed corner, okay, like this, and then you're going to continue lining this up so that you've got a straight edge, okay, just like this, and then this point here is going to kind of fold right there, okay. So clip that together so that you've got a straight edge here. Okay, and you're going to pinch this edge over here where that red, not the red, where you've got this little flap, okay? That's what we want with that 1/4 inch right there, is to pinch it, okay? So this is what you should have, okay? All right, so do that same thing with your other sides. All right, so we're gonna stitch down the sides at a 1/4 inch. I also forgot to mention that you want to at least have a little bit open from your zipper, because we're gonna be opening this and turning the bag right side out. All right, so we've got all of that sewn down. This is what it should look like right now, okay? So now what we're gonna do is we're going to pull this. We're going to pull it right side out. Be very careful. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button and hit that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much for joining along with me today. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.